Myesha Jenkins.
Oops. That is a very hard act to follow. Need I say? Hello, everybody. I can't see nothing. It's totally wild. Hello, I trust you're there. Um, yeah, I don't believe this happened to me. Thank you, Poetry Africa. This is like, for the poets to be able to come to Poetry Africa, this is one of the few times we feel real. You know, like people treat you with respect and like, you know, you're not late and they get you to places and create ways for you to speak to people. So thank you, Poetry Africa. Now, I can't believe this has happened to me, that I have gotten all my papers mixed up after I had them all sorted out at one point. I'm going to be joined tonight by Professor Salim Washington. I can hear you know him. This is great. So I'm thrilled, okay? I'm just thrilled. This is just to kind of wake you up. Finished. I suddenly feel mean and nasty. I want to cuss somebody out. Tired of people wanting things from me. Tired of being nice. Tired of being generous. Tired of being poor. Tired of being bullied. Tired of pretending. Tired of stupidity. People need to read. Tired of immaturity. Tired of entitlement. And I'm really tired of sexism, racism, homophobia, and elitism. Guess it's home alone tonight. So this isn't particularly a good time in the world to me. Things seem really rough, and it's hard, and nightmares, you know? Daydreaming. When I had thought of this time, it was never like this. It didn't feel like the world was ending. No guarded whispers of the end of days. There is a bitterness here I did not foresee. Violence and threat, fear and loneliness, exhaustion and mental fatigue. I had thought this would be a time of new discovery, mental power, socialism, and love for our mother, the earth. Women and men producing their very best, freeing children to become whole and curious people. This life I live, nothing like that. It's a constant shock to my system. There was no way to know that life erodes like the seashore at low tide, that the demands of living carve you up on the butcher's block of change. There was no way to know back then about this time, this now. So what keeps me going if I'm feeling like that? Music. Jazz music. So, I want to share a few jazz poems. Before I do that, wait. This shuffling paper is bad. Please come on Saturday morning at 11:30 at Ike's Bookstore. We're having a launch of this book, a South African anthology of jazz poetry, edited by Myesha Jenkins. I'm really proud and excited about this book. It reflects the work of people all over the country. There's something in here you'll find that you'd like. So please come. In honor of jazz, that jazz music. You speak through tears, break glass into tiny shards, shout from closed hearts, swing from the stars. Urban, black, classical music brought in the souls of slaves, held through the pain of living, hidden as a precious secret like our lost tongues. Memories of 1,000 lifetimes rise in rebellion, stand naked for all to see, and swim back across the oceans of time. That music, that jazz music. And bringing it a little bit closer to home, another night at the club. I have heard you play many times over many years, and still on nights like tonight, when the moon is full and there's only a handful of people in the club, my heart opens up and I forget how to breathe, caught in dreams of flying and freedom. Your brilliance, reminding me of how I came to love this thing called jazz. And somehow I came to it was really an appreciation of the brothers making the music. And it's mostly brothers, changing now, but the presence of a master. We got one right here. A man familiar with his instrument knows how to tease, to tickle. He licks melodies from the notes on the right, taps out a rhythm on the left of the blues, touches my cheek gently, brushes a leaf from my hair, and returns to a cyclone. A sudden drum strike promises war. His wounded victim screams in agony. Belly full of bile, he pulls out snakes, boulders, and broken glass, lays them at my feet. Cool, clear water eases the pain. He shares it all, unity of spirit. His is a love song dreaming. And this is like, there are many talented musicians around, and they come and they go, and we've lost some of them. And this one actually is for Zim Mwana, who studied here, and people know him. This poem was written on the celebrating the first anniversary of Zim's death, at his wife's house, with Nduduzo Makatini, Fea Faku, Ayanda Sikade, Philippa Yaudevillers, and Ernest Dawkins. Zim's Day. On this day, could we ask for anything more? Children growing like flowers on the garden rail. Sax warming the evening and our hearts. Piano as the paramours smile, bass plucking wildly, horn shouting out. Drummer keeps a steady beat. Words flow like water. Do you hear the stream? And this next poem is just a sweet little poem. I think we've seen this in our lives regularly. Some of us have been this. The jazz club. On Sunday afternoon, old men sit under a tree, listening to their music, laughing loudly, sipping brandy and coke, tapping their two-tone shoes, remembering dreams of red dresses and flying brown legs. Now, I want to do something that's a little hard. People on this trip have asked, what are things you don't talk about? And I say there's nothing I don't write about. I might not share everything, but there's nothing, I'm not censoring myself. But, this is a trigger warning. This is a trigger warning. I'm going to talk about sexual assault, and please, if it's hard for you, cover your ears. I won't be offended. Just cover your ears. I don't want to hurt anybody here. But, and this is a big but, I do want to talk about something that is hard, that is difficult, that no one likes to talk about. 87 little girls were abused over a long period of time, and it just came out last week. And we have to begin to talk about sexual assault. We have to begin to talk about what is going on really in our homes, in our schools, in our communities. Peekaboo. Peekaboo, peekaboo, I see you. Lurking in the shadow around the schoolyard gate. Your eyes glancing, hands in pockets, acting as if you are not who you are, but rather a loving grandfather, a responsible big brother, a worker painting the fence across the street, a policeman in the squad car on the corner, pretending that you are not who you are. Peekaboo, peekaboo, I see you, hoping for a glimpse of a girl's white panty, fantasizing about your child's playmate, imagining a prepubescent chest, dreaming of the softness of a child's skin, hearing the laughter of innocent joy. Peekaboo, peekaboo, I see you, and you, and you, and you are not a monster. And you, and you, and I know you. And you, and you. And for God's sake, take your hands out of your pockets. Then many people, we have lots of fabulous museums in South Africa. And part of the museum experience is an audio thing, right? Well, I was at the women's jail for an event. My friend Natalia was emceeing, and I was sitting at the back by the solitary cells at the women's jail, where we've been. This is a magical place full of nightmares and sorrow. This place tells stories painted in courage and hope. These concrete walls share the memories of women captured by apartheid laws, held here, confined in solitary here, abused here. This is sacred ground. These walls sing the songs of our sisters who could not be silenced, our brave sisters who found strength from the voices of their resistance, who sang and sang throughout the night. This is sacred space. These walls enforce silence, leaving women with their thoughts, their loneliness, their fears of the future, doubting their decisions and actions, sometimes shedding tears. This is sacred space. These walls hold the strength of women who challenged boundaries. They cross the lines of the oppressor, Mamweni, with shoulders back, heads held high, unafraid of retribution, demanding respect. This is sacred space. Let these walls remind us of all that we have been and all that we can be. Listen and hear them speak of the power of women, of freedom, of revolution. This is sacred space, where dreams survive, where sacred space that kept us alive. And this is my last poem, The Handover. Dear daughter, let me give this baton to you. Its lessons continue at a pace I can no longer keep. Scarred and weakened, betrayed by this body and age. You are our dreams, now awakening in your own nightmare to imagine dreams again. Let me give this to you now, girl. I've kept it in my turn. It has served me well, propped me up when I didn't know how to stand, gave strategy and values, knowledge covered in blood and broken glass. Take it, my baby. It belongs in your hands now. There's stories to tell along the way. I'll be there. I will not desert you, ever. Take this baton, my daughter, my fierce warrior. Let me follow you from the side, from the back, from wherever you tell me to be. Please, take this baton, my angel. There is much to do. The time for fighting and for dying has returned again. Love, Auntie. And a very quick one. I've been ending shows with this poem for a long time. It comes from my second book, Dreams of Flight. Transformation. Who I was is not who I am, and who I am is not who I will be. Some bits falling off, other parts sprouting. Inside of this cocoon, I dream of flight. Thank you. Professor Salim Washington.
Myesha Jenkins. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to take a quick, short break, a 15-minute break. And whilst you're at it, please don't forget about us. Send those hashtags, Poetry Africa. Twitter, it's at Poetry Africa. So we'll see you in a bit.